All right, welcome to Mind of Design, where we talk all things art. I'm here with my boy Khalil. We're ready to talk about some good stuff today, man. Want to
Hello,
introduce yourself? Tell the people what you do. What's your IG handle? All of that good stuff.
of course, of course. I'm Khalil. I'm Atlanta based, originally from St. Louis. I'm a graphic designer, photographer, videographer. I put all that in like underneath like the same umbrella of creative director. It's easier off the tongue. It looks good on dating apps too. You can follow me on IG at Khalil Makes Stuff, all one word. Khalil Makes Stuff. Appreciate you having me on, Kamani.
First, man. First episode, I got to do it with you.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Hey, that creative director word, that's a good umbrella for all of the terms that we do, everything we got in the bag. Because we do so much, but I feel like that's a nice word to group it all together and still
Right.
sound professional.
Exactly. Because I feel as though like us as designers, like I mean, even in like a behind the desk role or even on a freelancer role, we end up like wearing different hats anyway. So it just kind of gets like instead of like having a list, the big umbrella creative director works. Because even you, because I see you do work in After Effects, so you can add like motion designer to that umbrella too. But
My motion is not good. Like, I've only done maybe a handful, like five.
it's more than me, my boy. I've been wanting to get on the handle. A lot of people ask me if I can do motion graphics, but like I don't know, just a little bit of a daunting task, but I really want to do it. Probably take some notes from you.
I got none for you. Man, honestly, the motion takes longer than the actual cover at times. That's what really gets me. Like, you got to cut everything out, separate it,
Hmm.
put it in After Effects or whatever you use. Most of the pieces you got to break up into smaller pieces. Like, if you're talking like an arm or something, you got to break up the forearm, you got to break off the hands, you got to break off the shoulder and make them all move different ways just to
Yeah,
make it look kind of close to real motion.
that patience to even like be able to do that in the first place is admirable. So like you got my respect for that like internally because I'm working on my patience. I'm very impatient, but when it comes to like a lot of stuff like that, it's a very admirable trait to have.
Yeah, shout out to the real motion designers, like the ones that only do motion. They do a little design, but that's pretty much all they do.
Exactly, exactly.
Those are the goats. Trying to think of something off the top of my head, but I can't. I follow so many on IG. Anyways, what do you think is your strong suit out
I'm
of the
still trying to
bag
figure
that
that
you
out.
have?
I'm still trying to figure that out. In terms of like design, I mean, illustration probably is my strongest suit. Um, Even though like on my like main page, I do so little of it, but what I have up there is like some pretty good work, but it's like the thing I do the most, even if like it's not really being seen.
Yeah,
Uh, but besides that, I guess like graphic design, I'm like learning more and more, getting out of my little shell, my little comfort zone more and more and learning more stuff. So I'm at a place right now where I think I'm comfortable like showing people this, and that. I ventured outside of the Photoshop bubble and I'm now using like Illustrator, like a real graphic designer. So that's also
yeah.
those are really cool.
You've definitely come a long way since I met you.
And you as well, man. You as well.
Appreciate it.
Even though I still think you're killing me on this Photoshop shit.
That's all I do. I don't do motion much. I don't do photography much. I'll do little edits here and there, but that's all I do. So yeah, I'm trying to expand though, get in the blender a little bit.
Of
And
course, of
how is it
course.
shooting that festival though?
It was
You've
cool. Um, I really wish I got to like do both days, but we got rain at the second day. Um, and the second day it was gonna have like a whole bunch of stuff I was supposed to do. I was supposed to like get on stage with another artist. I was supposed to get on stage with two artists and take pictures, but that didn't happen. But yeah, I went there with another person. His name is Nafsai Louis. Um he runs a little a company called Bully Giant Media. He was there shooting with me, made that trip a lot more bearable, I would say. But
shout out to
that,
Olu
shout out to Olu, of course.
for sure.
But him being there was pretty cool. But the whole experience of being at a festival, it was like technically my first like real festival,
Hmm.
but being there and also like being able to like get into places where I wasn't really normally able to get into in the past, like media tents and like the photo pit and all that was like really cool. Like, oh wow, I'm I'm in this other caliber of person rather than the common person, you know?
Yeah, I get it though. It's probably really surreal, like working on something your whole life, not your
Mm-hmm.
whole life, but for a significantly long amount of time, and being able to be in an area like that. You're at the top of the top when it comes to professionals in your field and the opportunities that they get. You're right in the mix with them.
I always want to say that I have like way more room to improve as well. Upward momentum never really changes for me. I always want to like keep going, keep going, keep going. And I feel as though I am still doing that, in a way, you know?
Yeah,
Like I like okay, I messed with this. What's the next thing I can get better at? Well, I got this done. What's the next thing I can get better at? Uh, Upper momentum is always going to be the game for me, whether or not whether it's like something small or something big. I've always want to like get better at it.
yeah, I get that. Shout out to Jack Harlow though.
Shout out to
Got
Jack.
his own festival in his hometown.
I know he was tore up about it, with it getting rained down and everything. But weather. I remember riding up there and I was looking at the weather like, wait, it says it's supposed to rain. Like, is it gonna be okay? Like, are we gonna be fine? But obviously not.
Yeah, guy was hating that day with the
Yeah,
rain.
a a little bit.
But still, the amount of effort that went into planning that, like I know it took months, probably years worth of setting
Oh,
up, employees
mhm.
doing everything. So to have a
Right.
success like that on day one is still it's one hell of a feat.
Oh, right, right, right. Like, and not only that, like the planning of it, because I have the foggiest idea of like what goes into planning a festival of that caliber. And the fact he was able to do it is, I don't know how many times I can say the word admirable, but it goes beyond like admirability for me. It's like I'm trying to be like you.
Yeah, that's inspiring, dog. To be able to
Exactly.
bring something of value. And I think I read somewhere that he contributed to like the city's economy,
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
like
He
from boosting
definitely,
sales and everybody coming in
yeah.
to
He
generate
definitely.
revenue for your city, your hometown. Like that on that scale is that's different. What would you say is some of your favorite pictures though? Or your favorite if you can choose? Did you take any
Like
out there or just from somewhere else?
like my favorite pictures, like period, or some of my favorites.
Both.
Well, out there, my favorite one I took was probably, I'd say either SZA or Rich Homie Quan. Um, because SZA was like more of a challenge, and the fact that those photos came out as good as they did was that was nothing but got there. Because the story of that was, she closed the photo pit for her set, and I was like there to saying to Olu, listen, I came here because I wanted to get pictures of SZA. I don't want to leave without getting pictures of SZA. So
Dope.
after Vince Staples' set, where we only were able to do the first three songs, we got
Hmm.
kicked out of the photo pit, and we kind of like trying to like you kind of shoved our way to the front, like near the front of the crowd as far as we can get. We got pretty far,
Yeah.
and we stood there through Vince Staples' set. I took a few photos there, but we ended up standing there for like this in one like space, almost like nuts to butts with like all people not moving at all. For like about hour and a half, 2 hours until she came on. Mission accomplished. So this like the journey of getting those photos was all it was the good one. But the Richard McQuan set was the most fun I've had while taking photos. I'd say because not only did I like the photos, I took the most photos of him, but his set was also like my favorite set of the entire like show. It was the most fun I've had as well.
Really?
Um, yeah, like that was like my first time seeing Rich Homie Quan in performance, and I've been wanting for like a huge Rich Homie Quan comeback for the longest while,
Everybody
and
has.
exactly. And seeing him and hearing him like perform his greatest hits, it made the whole experience like really really fun.
That's cool,
Uh,
man. I wouldn't expect him to be. I think you told me this already, but I didn't expect him to be your favorite. Thought it might
uh,
have been SZA. No cap.
I mean,
That would have been my
SZA would have
favorite.
been fine if like I'll okay, so like I'm pretty so the majesty and the beauty of the concert itself was amazing. The concert itself was great. I haven't been blown away
Yeah,
by like cinematic concert like that since when went to go see Kendrick like 2 years ago. Like that was great as like a whole performance. But as far as like me having fun listening to music live, yeah, it's Rich Homie Quan for that set, most definitely. But I had fun like at the All Stars. There wasn't like a set I was at that I just hated, you know, or I didn't dislike. I didn't even dislike any of the sets. There was like it was all good, clean, fun, you know.
yeah.
Uh,
Give me a dream collab. Like who's somebody that it can be a collab with art or somebody you've been wanting to like take photos of, but like a dream.
I wanted to like I'm probably gonna hop into his DMs at some point, but I wanted to like get some design expertise from an artist named Danny Pleckham.
Oh
Um
yeah, we just looked at his stuff the other day.
Yeah, I really admire him as a designer and as a photographer. He made that. In case you don't know, he made that one Kendrick photo with his what he's like in blue and his like face
God,
is all black.
that
Like
might be one of my favorite photos of all time, like that I've ever seen
exactly,
in this
exactly.
space. Like, I mean, I know there's some legendary like Michael Jackson photos and things like that, but
Hmm.
like from right now, that's one of the ones that you will see for a very long time. He
Most
went crazy.
definitely, most definitely.
He went crazy.
But I'd like to get some expertise from him, seeing like how him as far as like photography. I really like the work of another photographer. His name is Bash Benzo. Like his style of photography.
Hmm.
He does portraits, but the way he edits his photos and portraits are like I've never seen him done like that. I don't really have any like collabs. I just really have like a lot of like people I just want to like shout out for like my journey and how I like developed as an artist. You know.
Yeah,
Um.
that's solid. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know, you might not follow him, but Austin Showtime, A Show, I think it's
Yeah.
A Showtime on Instagram.
Yeah.
He's doing some of that like classical art too with the frames and making everything look vintage. Like it's a real historical painting. Boy,
Mm-hmm.
common stuff like Michael Jordan and some artists. I think he might have did a West Side Gun one. He has a
Ooh.
few. But yeah, I just recently discovered him. He's got some of the best art that I've seen in a while as well.
Right. Well, of course, like I mean, there's like people who I've like really admired from like photography standpoint. You know, there's DCat. Met him
Shout
as
out to
one
DCat.
major shout out to DCat. There's Akbar from Akbar on Instagram. Um, there's there's a Pure. She goes by Pure on Instagram. Two friends of mine, but like in terms of like a main big inspiration has to be Gunnar Stall. Um,
Yeah.
Gunnar Stoll. I bought that. I had this actually. I have this man's book like right next to me, right here. I did not plan this at all. I was just reading this last night and it just didn't bother to move it. Uh, but yeah, no, that book in his photo style is like something I've never really seen before. He shoots on film, of course, but like it's like, damn, I like this. I need more of this injected into my veins. That's really all I can think of. Of course, there's a lot of designers that I admire as well that I can just
Yeah,
sit here and just like spend like an hour and a half just naming off names. But
of course. Yeah, I want to shout out 331 Dez. I don't know.
mhm.
I feel like he came on the scene. He randomly popped up on my explore page one day. I don't know if he was already like solidified in the industry yet, but I caught him like early and he just blew up. Like he shot a lot of good photos of that the Kanye uh show when he shut down
Yeah,
Mercedes-Benz Stadium. He
yeah,
goes all over the country. I think he went to Egypt and shot, but he's really nice. I've been keeping up with him. Shout out to Desmond Alexander.
Desmond
He's a
Alexander, of
goat as
course.
well.
Hmm.
DCat and
Uh,
Stretch Life Visuals, I believe is his Instagram. He's
uh,
phenomenal. And he drops like tips and tricks and he breaks down his builds and what he uses, favorite lenses, all that good stuff.
I mean, to like get that Instagram from you because that sounds amazing.
Yeah. I don't think it's one more, but I might get his IG wrong. Ryan. I know it's not hers because he's a graphic designer up here, but he breaks down a lot of his stuff as well. I think it's really cool to see photography from the other side. Like I'm a casual. I don't know much about bodies and things that come along with what you do. I got the basic equipment down, but to see like y'all just break it down and show exactly how you do, how you shoot, your settings, different types of methods, angles, like
It
it's really
was
cool.
it was all Spanish to me, like at the beginning. I just it was like a slow process of me like
Hmm.
getting it.
That's how it is until you really get into it and then you understand and you start to see it in a different way. Your eyes see it in a totally different way. It's
Of
like that with
course,
music too.
of
I'm
course,
starting
of
to see that
course.
a lot more hanging around with the engineers and producers at work. Shout out to them too. We're
Yeah,
surrounded by phenomenal talent.
yeah. We're just surrounded by talent, like and that's good. I find that to be really, really cool, just to be surrounded by talent all the time.
Yes, it's motivating because I want to be just as good as you in my respective field.
Man, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be as good as you. You know, I still think you utterly drag me when it comes to graphic design in general. So I got a lot to learn, and you're on the list though to learn.
I mean, you got real placements though. Boy, got
Yeah,
one plenty with drama. Little baby, a boogie. I don't know.
and I'm eternally grateful for all those opportunities that I've gotten. Uh,
Kill.
I'm killed. Yeah, kill. I think like the one that I'm like really um Don Cannon as well.
Hmm.
I'm extremely grateful for a lot of opportunities I've gotten, and ready for more, ready to keep going, and ready to keep advancing.
As am I. But hey, man, we can go ahead and wrap up. Do you have any advice for anybody that may be watching? Any photographers, designers, creative directors on the come up?
Comparison is the enemy of creation. I will say a big part of getting better and improving as a creative or as an artist is to not to admire but don't compare yourself to your contemporaries. Because if you start getting into that mold of comparing yourself, you might think of yourself as either like, oh, I'm not good enough, or and
Yeah,
what's the point? And that then you just lead down a hole to where you just put the mouse or tablet down, and we can't have that. So I
yeah,
need you to admire but don't compare.
yeah. That can definitely drag you down, especially when
Yeah,
everybody sees their art in a different way, whatever it is. No one
that's
can see it from your lens. And some people make the most of what they see. You just got to figure out what's for you and make the most
mhm.
of yours. So everybody's specialty is different. We all do relatively the same thing, but somebody's the way they edit is the way they shoot is different. Everybody sees it different. So exploit what you
Right,
can.
right.
All right, though, man. It's good talking to you. Appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate
Hopefully
you
you'll
having
be
me.
back.
I appreciate you having me.